Okay, so this information is new. I don't have anything on it. There's nothing on this quite yet that we can glean, but this came to me from Dorito, and President Trump's Thursday speech, which we will be covering on Thursday when it happens, or the day afterwards, likely, because I might be playing Riftbound at that time. President Trump's Thursday speech is expected to address newly declassified intelligence reports that the White House says reveals plans by foreign nations to interfere in the 2020 election, according to two White House officials speaking with MS Now. Okay, so that's the first bit. Can I say, yeah, no fucking shit. Yeah, Russia's been trying to interfere with our elections for a while. This isn't new. This isn't news in any way, shape, or form. But there's an angle here he's going for, and that angle is right about here. President Trump is planning to announce that Georgia's two senators, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, are illegitimate because of fraud. A well-placed source in Georgia tells us. Announcement could come as soon as tonight. Well, that was 4:47 p.m. Rita says I fucking called it. Yeah, no, he was the front man for the first administration, but then he got in all of his controversy, and now he's guy whose plans are used, which is basically the same shit.
I've got a big tinfoil hat when it comes to that damn, that piece of shit. I think I know his plan.
It's about 3 foot.
One Democrat, instead of the margin being, 100 senators, it would have to be accounted for as 99 senators. So let's take a look at all the math that way, or 98 or 97 or however many they get. They've got the Supreme Court captured. They're going to be able to get anything passed that they want to, especially when it comes to stuff that's historic. I don't see Roberts having a problem with him wanting to roll back everything Biden did. And so they're going to go, we're in Trump's third term currently, because he would have won the second term, the 2020 election. And then he's going to go, since I'm in the third term, that part in the Constitution, 22nd Amendment, I think, 25th, one of those, that says that a president can only serve 2 terms no longer applies to me. And the Supreme Court needs to make a ruling on that. It obviously doesn't apply to me.
And it's going to be his Supreme Court that he put in. There is a prior precedent, though, that that sounds like kind of what we're looking at. That said, let me see here. Oh my God, guys, do you remember when people were freaking the fuck out about lefties knocking over all of the statues of Confederate warmongers? Do you remember that?
We're terminating certain monuments. They call it monuments, not the ones we have outside, but these are large, thousands of acres. It's a total of almost 3 million acres, and we're going to be discussing it. But in fact, I think we'll start discussing it right now before I sign. After that, we're going to be signing 2 documents that are close to 1.5 million acres each. And Governor, do you want to say a few words about what we're doing and explain it to the press?
Yeah, well,
we're terminating certain.
So, boy howdy, it's so weird that we're terminating monuments to our history, and that's good because somebody's going to make money off of it. But it's bad when it's because people are, not comfortable with people celebrating racism. Also, real quick, we do have an update on the Washington Reporter thing. The White House tells us President Trump's speech will not focus on Georgia's 2020 elections. Georgia Republican source adds to us that they were notified of speech and upcoming initial Georgia elections focus in advance. Speech set for Thursday at 9 p.m. VA Primetime says, and this is why the need to be right should trump the desire to be first. You just started a conversation no one was having due to irresponsible reporting. President Trump is planning to announce that Georgia's 2 senators, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, are illegitimate. From the Washington Reporter. Now, I'm not familiar offhand with the Washington Reporter, but they say that they are center-right. I wonder here. Let's quickly go over that. Center-right coverage of the Hill? Media Bias Fact Check says that y'all are on the fucking extreme side of the right, and you have a mixed rate of factual reporting, which you just evidenced right the fuck here. That's really funny. That's great. That's fantastic. God, I love watching liars shown to be liars, because that's what that is. Sean Helfand says, yeah, and this episode, sponsored by Ground News. Actually, no, not really. I'm not sponsored by Ground News. I wish that they would hand me money. I would love if they would hand me money, because then that bar down there would be a lot further along than it is. But they don't hand me money, so that's not the case. What else do y'all fucking say over here on your Twitter? We are humbled and grateful for the outpouring of support on DC Report's nomination for the Cronkite Prize in journalism for Matthew Foldy's piece on a Nebius data center. What is a Cronkite Prize? I've never heard of that. Honors leading journalists and media figures, administered by the USC Edinburgh Norman Lear Center. Recent recipients include Jon Stewart, Rachel Maddow, Scott Pelley, Wolf Blitzer, and David Muir. So they were nominated for a journalism prize, but they have a bad rate of reporting? Okay. That's funny. Me to the entire media ecosystem, which is officially 2.5 days late to following us on the Graham Plattner beat. Why do people obsess about being first on this shit? Like, I get it from the perspective of, like, needing to make sure that the algorithm is appeased, because that's how it works. But at the same time, why should that matter more than being correct? A well-placed source told us that Graham Plattner is dropping out. Just like a well-placed source told you that Trump was going to be talking about a thing that he's not talking about? Jesus Christ. So it's easier to say something is your priority and your focus, but that also means you have to say other things are not your focus and priority. Alex says, I have 6 months left in the United States, and I intend to use every moment of that time to advance meaningful permitting reform that will strengthen our energy security and help our nation build again. Okay, I'm done reading you. Your stuff is now boring. Dorito says, I still bet I'll be right when the 2020 shit starts up again. He's gonna be beating that. So, like, okay, but Dorito, I will say this, as good of a prediction as that is, at the same time, can I point something out? Your prediction was that he is going to do something he has historically been doing for years. He's going to bitch and moan about the 2020 election being stolen from him like a little child. So, I mean, if you think about it realistically, that's less a prediction and more just kind of looking at shit that happened beforehand, which is closer to a cold read, actually. Also, Tao, holy fucking shit, thank you for tipping $50. That is massive. Your prediction was about specifics like rolling back policies, and it specifically name-dropped Warnock and Ossoff as being outed. Right, but the Warnock and Ossoff thing isn't happening. Like, that turns out that one wasn't happening. Maybe that will happen, but, like, the biased news source just said that, no, we were incorrect about the thing. But yes, I'm specifically trying to roll back policies. But again, that makes sense. Anybody, like, a president already has the ability to roll back policies that are done by EO, and Trump has been trying to roll back shit that has been precedent constantly. It's why he fought so hard to get his Supreme Court the way it is. Like, I'm not surprised at all. But it is accurate. You did make accurate predictions there. So I am going to give you the cookie. You may have one. It only has a tiny bit of cyanide in it, but it is mostly made of chocolate chip. Sean Helfand says, also, Graham Plattner loses and we get 2 seats to replace him, and it's even better. We get rid of 2 monsters. What, Ossoff and Warnock? What? Oh, no, you're talking about Graham and... You're talking about Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell. Said, does the cookie have sufficient garlic? Always does. Also, can I just say, speaking of the election fraud thing, real quick, can we listen to Thomas Massie for a second?
I think it's ironic that we control the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, and the White House, and we're yelling election fraud. I mean, we won all the damn elections, and we're in charge, and what are we doing with it? We're bankrupting the country, we're starting new wars, we're violating the Constitution, we're not cracking down on the fraud. The problem is not the elections. We won the damn elections. The problem is we're wasting our opportunity that the voters gave us. And the Republicans are going to pay for that in November. It'll be an absolute shellacking if they don't wake up. I think it's
So that's Thomas Massie, who is a representative for the Republican Party in Kentucky, saying what everybody's thinking right now. Literally all of us. Because all of us recognize exactly what the fuck is happening here. Welcome back, Stuff. Anselin says, I take the arsenic cookie, getting old sucks. Cal says, I need to now find the recipe for almond cookies. Dorita says, keep in mind, Suzu Massie is far right and has voted in line with Trump about 97% of the time. He's not an ally, but he could be effectively used if Dems in power were smarter. Yeah, again, that is the Republican who is in line with Trump, agreeing with us. But here's the way that people are responding to that. Dear God. And there it is, straight again from his mouth. There was no fraud. Sure, we control most of it only because they couldn't do it again, like in 2020. But they could install snakes like him to disrupt everything. God, they will fight tooth and nail for the idea that this is all fraud, is all bad. Do you ever feel like this is all a way for Republicans to actually just get a dictatorship? Like, if all of the elections are fraudulent, if they're all rigged, if they're going to call that constantly, wouldn't the logical next step be to argue that the election process itself is the problem? I don't know. Maybe my tinfoil hat brain is tinfoil hatting there, but I feel like that would be the logical next step for some of them. Guys, please vote. Like, it's the barest of minimums we can do to fight these fuckers. The barest of minimums. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Blitzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.